Power for EV1 and EV2 are on.
Hey, thanks, Mark, Raja, for getting us to this point. Tom, Kayla, good morning. We are all very excited to be with you. We are in the post-depress portion of the cue card now, and with that, on your DCMs, if you would switch power to battery, stagger your switch throws, and you can expect a warning tone with that.
Good work.
Standing by.
Bat.
Confirm you're in bat.
What isn't bat?
Roger.
Okay, and I understand you guys are both in battery. If you'd check that your display switches are functional.
Switch is functional.
Switch is functional for one.
Okay, Kayla, for you on the UIA, if you'd switch power for EV1 and EV2 to off, OFF, both, and then verify that all 4 LEDs are out.
Roger, and work. Power for EV1 and 2 is off. All 4 LEDs are off.
Okay, copy. And then on your DCM, you can disconnect your SCU from your DCM.
Work for 2. DCM, or my SCU is disconnected from the DCM and working on getting it in the pouch.
Okay.
One, and the DCM cover is back in place.
Okay, copy. You guys are working the covers and the DCM covers as well as the SUs into the pouch.
My SCU is stowed in the pouch. My DCM cover is in place.
And Tom, while you're out there, you can also turn your HECA on.
Work.
All right, I've got my BRT ret on the medium ORU bag. And my intention is to tend it out after me. If you are clear, Tom, I'll start heading out.
Yeah, clear.
Marshburn got the cue to turn on his HECA.
Copy, Tom. And Kayla, we see you're heading out. Sun's coming up. You'll be right over South America here in a couple minutes.
Roger. And on my way by, I'm going to pick up my waist tether. I'm coming out, Tom.
You okay? I see ya. That's me a little bit.
Take a close look at the top of your screen there. You can see NASA astronaut Kayla Barron making her way out to her spacewalk, first spacewalk of her career.
Got my waist tether down, and I'm going to start working on getting the medium ORU bag on my BRT.
All right, we copy.
Okay.
Barron is now being tasked with closing the hatch thermal cover that they passed through. They just completed buddy checks. Those are conducted periodically.
Like the magnet's working well through.
All right, that's good news. We'll stand by for translation adaptation.
Roger, and work.
These buddy checks are used to check on their spacewalking colleagues, the camera, making sure that's on, that the tethers and tools are still in a good configuration. You'll also periodically hear a call out for the crew member to do a glove check, which they also just completed. The spacewalking astronauts have to be mindful of any sharp edges or small objects that could damage the integrity of their gloves, so they often need to stop and inspect them.
I'm coming up behind you on the toolbox there.
Right, I'm heading up to Cedar Spur.
Roger.
Clear leads in place.
I see it. It looks great.
The astronauts are now headed to their respective workstations outside of the space station. Kayla Barron will take a path to the one that you see in blue here on your screen, to the external logistics carrier number 3, where the spare SASA is mounted. Tom Marshburn will take the shorter path in red on the bottom third of your screen to Canadarm2, the robotic arm. Once configured, European Space Agency astronaut Matthias Maurer will control the robotic arm and take Marshburn to the worksite.
All right, Copy.
Looks like we're getting our first helmet camera of the day. You can see the number 16 in the corner, indicating this is NASA astronaut Kayla Barron's point of view. She's on her way to the external logistics carrier number 3.
And I'm up at the CETA handrail, getting ready to head out port as well.
Okay. I'm going to let my safety tether kind of bend below you.
It's good to me.
Copy.
Good eyes on it.
I see your progress. Looking good.
Barron will actually pass by the faulty S-band antenna.
0.
But she's going to carry on to the express logistics carrier number 3.
Copy that, Tom. And we think it's probably going to be about mile marker 8670. Anywhere in there is good for your kulak bag.
Copy. Here's the NTA. I see 8670. I'm going to put down my kulak bag here.
Copy that.
I'm at
And
8420.
copy that, Kayla. And you'll head zenith, and you'll see the GPS antennas.
I see them, Drew. And Drew, I'm going to get the 2 more nadir ones and save the other one for when I get to the other side or Tom's here. The 2 are removed.
Copy that.
Roger, I've got Bravo 7 clockwise 2 set.
Okay, we're expecting 9 to 10 turns. And we expect it
I've
to.
got the socket.
And we expect it'll spring back when it's fully released.
Roger. Starting turns for 9 to 10 turns. And I've got 9 to 10 turns. There is play in it now, so it is springing back as expected. Bolt release out of the launch, or, well, I guess it's driven out of the launch block.
All right, that's great news. And you can go ahead and stow your PGT, and then you can start working the rets and adjustables.
Roger. I already have the ret stage for the tent and clamshell. I'm going to work NZGL caps, and then I will stage the Medusa tether for the shirt and scarf.
That sounds good.
You're hearing the voice of NASA astronaut Kayla Barron as she communicates to our ground IV, Drew Morgan, about some tasks at the ELC-3 that will help prep the spare SASA to be moved.
How's the shroud going, Kayla?
Good. I got the clamshell removed, and it's headed back towards the high-pressure gas tank as we hoped.
Okay.
And I am working on tents as we speak.
Nice work.
NASA astronaut Kayla Barron reporting that she's wrapping up her tasks at the first stop of the ELC-3 today, where the spare SASA lives. She's removed some multi-layer insulation, and she's also driven a stanchion mounting belt out of the launch position.
Drew, are you back with us?
Yeah, Kayla, we're back. We're waiting for the GCA complete. I have PGT settings for you when you're ready.
I already have Bravo 4 counterclockwise 2 set, and I'm in position to drive on your go.
Okay, we'll go for that. You're on the low gain antenna side, the side that we were expecting. 11 to 19 turns on the PGT, if you're counting at the PGT. And then just let us know whether you're working the forward or the aft.
11 to 19 with the PGT. And I'll start with the forward.
Copy.
Yep, and torque is broken, Drew.
Copy that, Kayla.
I was on it originally.
Yeah, Kayla, if you had experienced any running torque at all, we expected that you broke torque if you're experiencing some running torque.
And I'm just standing by for Tom's go to continue turn.
Copy that.
Just wrapping up. All right, Joe gas is complete, and we are ready for maneuver to GCA to publish P1 retrieval position. And I am also ready for the maneuver to publish.
Marshburn gave Kayla Barron the go to release the stanchion bolt that she was working on releasing with her pistol grip tool, meaning that Tom Marshburn confirms that he has a grasp on the degraded SASA and it's tethered correctly. Meanwhile, the astronauts aboard the International Space Station gave a go that they are ready to move the robotic arm.
And stop motion.
Okay, stopping motion about 30 centimeters short of published.
All right, when you get brakes on, I'll wrap to it.
Okay, brakes are on, GCA complete. And your go for P1 SAS retrieval.
Copy. All right, I've got a ret to the handrails of the RFG. And I have 2 hands on it.
Roger. Sorry.
I am ready if everybody's ready for you to the final torque.
All right, Tom, if you and Kayla are good,
The stanchion mount bolt.
you have a go to release. We're expecting about 18 turns. We want you to maintain some pressure on that bolt head.
Roger. Adjust my body position a little bit here. Starting turn. It's 9 turns, and I'm just going to readjust the...
Kayla, we were just going to have you double check your PGT settings. It looks like we might be a little higher counterclockwise speed right now.
Yep, I think it got knocked into counter 3. Back in counter 2 now.
All right, that's a good check.
The degraded unit is in a position known as a soft dock. It's connected to the space station, but only that stanchion bolt is keeping it in place. Kayla Barron is working to remove it.
7 minutes.
And Drew, could you say again total turns I'm looking for here?
We're expecting about 18.
Roger. There's 18. Did it spring out?
We do expect it to spring up.
A little light tugs.
Roger. That count could be a little off, Drew, because it's kind of difficult to tell if it's fully seated. But I'm going to get it back on there and then some more turns.
Yep, go ahead with some additional turns.
Okay, it is released. is removed. I'm going to stow that. And then give me a chance to just reposition myself, Tom.
Okay. Just have light touch both hands.
All right, Kayla, that sounds good, and we're just going to have you pull axially as close as you can to the center of gravity down there, and light touch from Tom, as he's already commented.
Copy.
Tom, could you please pull it away from the stanchion mount? It looks pretty straight.
Coming a little way. I think I got arm motion, not stanchion motion.
The gap's increasing.
Okay, I'm going to continue to pull.
Yep, keep going.
One.
It might be side-loaded.
Okay, I'm going to pull it, rock it a little bit towards me.
Yep, that's looking great.
And
It's removed.
It's removed. 2 hands on a red on a free degraded SASA.
Great news.
Oh, nice. Teamwork.
The degraded SASA is now officially free from the International Space Station.
You can confirm stop motion?
Stop motion.
Stop motion about 30 centimeters short of the published.
What do you think, Kayla? I think we're good.
I think we can get it on.
Okay.
Feel comfortable.
All right, in GCA.
Copy, GCA complete.
And I can hold it up so you can get that picture right now if you'd like.
Okay.
Or before we pop it in.
Say again.
I can turn the high gain around to you for a picture if you'd like now, or
Okay.
do it later. All right?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Okay. A little closer for you than that last one. Tell me when you're good.
Watch the high gain antenna on the spare over here. You're a little close.
Copy.
And mutt's in the way, and I don't really want to move it too much.
All right, we can just do it later.
Stand by.
Okay. I can rotate it that way if you like.
That's good. Stay right there. All right. Yeah, I think I got several pictures of it there. It's the one closest to the high gain antenna, correct?
Yeah, there's 2 of them, and the one closest to the high gain, that's affirmed.
I got photos.
Okay. I'm handing it over to you.
Please keep control for now.
I am.
And
Control.
you can rotate the handrail toward the nut. And let's see.
It'll lift this end up.
Yeah. Tom, if you could just rotate it so that it's RFD facing up. There you go.
I see.
And we're almost in there. Just need to straighten out. And if you could lift your end up.
Work.
And but further, your end needs to go forward and up a little bit. That's looking pretty good.
You're hearing the voices of Tom Marshburn and Kayla Barron, and as Tom communicates to the operators of the robotic arm, Matthias Maurer and his backup Rajachari, he's giving commands so he can hand off the degraded SASA to Kayla Barron, who will work to stow the SASA on the Express Logistics carrier. User asked, how much time does it take to prepare for a spacewalk? We talked about the advantage that Tom Marshburn and Kayla Barron had to find out that the degraded unit had happened before they left the ground so they could train into the neutral buoyancy laboratory.
For the stanchion, and I got myself a pretty good mounting.
However, the crew did get to prep while in orbit. All 5 astronauts of the USOS side, Marshburn, Barron, Vandehei, Chari, and Maurer, have been studying the steps of the spacewalk, along with the tool configurations and any precautions they should be aware of for the past week. Barron and Marshburn specifically, our spacewalkers today, prepared the equipment lock in the days leading up to today's spacewalk, doing tasks like getting their checklists and drinking water ready and inspecting each of their tools. This is all part of some preparations they did before the spacewalk. It also included some onboard verification fit checks where they tried on their spacesuits and made sure that they're comfortable and easy to move around.
And that was 17 turns.
Yeah, I'm going to keep a light touch and pull on a little bit.
Can I finish my call real quick?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
17 turns, green light, 26 foot-pounds. In that time, I was actually able to see the bolts drop in depth, so I believe it's fully engaged, Tom.
Okay, great.
But you're welcome to give it a little wiggle to confirm for yourself.
Sorry to on your call.
Okay.
We copy all, Kayla, and that sounds like a good install.
When removing the degraded SASA unit, Kayla Barron had disconnected 3 cables to free the degraded SASA in preparation to move it to the express logistics carrier. And now that the spare is in its place, she'll work to reconnect these 3 cables powering data, heater power, and operational power to the spare SASA. SASA, or the S-band antenna subassembly. This is used to transmit low-rate voice and data between the space station and the team here on the ground in mission control using S-band radio frequencies. It went down mid-September with a failed return link, meaning we can send data up, but the degraded antenna lost its ability to send signals back to us.
I have 4 in my hand, and I'm ready to mate to J4. The lever is full aft over center with good pins, no FOD, good EMI band.
Go to mate.
Roger, go to mate.
And Kayla, you can continue with P3 and P2 after that, and we'll catch your checks after the GCAs.
What you see now on your screen are the connectors that Kayla Barron is working to get connected to the spare SASA.
I'm seeing good motion.
All 3 NCGLs are mated, full forward over center. All had good pins, no FOD, good EMI bands prior to mate.
Copy, Kayla. Great work. We are done with those 3 connectors. Those are good checks. The next thing we're going to have you do is we want you to move your green hook outboard 2 handrails to 3624, 3624 in preparation for get-ahead.
Roger, move green hook to 3624.
Kayla Barron communicating with the ground that she has finished mating the cables to the spare SASA, meaning that the unit now is receiving power and data. Ground IV Drew Morgan already has his sights on some get-ahead tasks as he's getting Kayla Barron in position 4. We're 3 hours into the spacewalk, scheduled to take about 6.5 hours, but we're already moving well ahead of schedule. Barron and Marshburn now preparing to power up the SASA. This is the spare that they took from the express logistics carrier over to the P1 truss to replace the degraded unit. Following its successful power-up, they will head back to the ELC and stow the degraded unit.
I'm sorry about cutting you off there.
No problem at all. I was just also mentioning that some of the spots that look like MMOD strikes It looks just like, sort of matte silver metal underneath. And then other areas are more like a brownish orange color around the area of the hit. I don't know if that is just some sort of oxidation or something, or like the age of the hit. But from my vantage point, I can probably see at least 10 small MOD strikes. I was able to get some, what I think will be decent pictures of the faces I've described, and I might be able to get eyes on the other face once we have it installed on the FRAM.
Copy all. Kayla, that's a great description. We may take you up on that offer to do further inspection once we get it installed. And then we wanted to confirm with you the number. You were describing a number of MMOD strikes, and we just wanted to confirm that number again.
Let me see. I would say I can see 11 from my perspective. But because of the like raised grid area, there might be some that I can't see on these spaces. And I'm only really counting what I can see on 2 of the spaces, and not really the size or the most.
All right, copy that, Kayla. Good words, and we will come up with a plan if there's additional inspection that we'll take once we move it over there to the FRAM.
Roger.
Pretty good position here, Roger. I believe you agree, Kayla?
Yeah, as long as you feel comfortable, you can control the SAS as I release it. I can.
All right. Hit GCA. GCA complete. All right, let me get a red on it here.
Standing by.
Marshburn communicating with the robotic arm operators Matthias Maurer and Rajachari.
Release my ret now while the handrail is still near me.
Okay. And I have control.
All right. My ret is removed. And Tom, I'm going to unlock the jaws and then I'll release them.
Copy. And I have control.
Roger, you have control. Jaws are unlocked. This is released.
I've got it.
All right, good work, Ted. And Kayla, we're going to reset to Alpha 5 clockwise 2. Alpha 5 clockwise 2.
As the astronauts got directions on their tool configuration from the ground IV, you are looking at a live view of helmet camera number 16 belonging to Kayla Barron. You are now seeing her point of view on the spacewalk today.
Copy, Kayla, and your 5.5 to 9 turns.
Okay.
It'd be easier for me to hit this one. Or do you have a good reach for it?
That was about 8 turns and I think it torqued out. You agree, Tom? Are you trying to say that?
I'm just going to put it back on there for you if you want to do it again.
I think it's torqued out, Tom.
Okay.
I got a green light. It turned 4.7 pounds.
Okay. Okay.
Stand by, Kayla, we're checking.
You want to do that one, Tom? Roger.
Yeah, how do you feel about your positioning?
Well, I think you are probably in a better spot for it.
Okay.
Erin now double checking on her work. She installed the first of the 2 mast bolts to connect the SASA to the FRAM, the flight releasable attach mechanism.
Good settings, 5.5 to 9 turns.
Thank you. 5.5 to 9.
As Kayla Barron drives that second mast bolt to secure it, we'll sometimes get some Earth views poking out of her wrist mirror. The International Space Station is about to cross the English Channel. Getting live views now from NASA astronaut Kayla Barron's helmet camera on her very first spacewalk of her career as she puts the finishing touches on the stowage of the degraded NASA unit back onto the Express Logistics carrier. The unit is in good hands, attached to heat and getting its nice blanket on. It's a degraded unit for now, but in the event that they ever want to repair it and use it again, it is available for them to do so. Following these finishing touches, NASA astronaut Kayla Barron will work to return the bags of tools and other equipment they would need during the spacewalk that she had originally brought out of the Quest airlock and return them back. Meanwhile, Tom Marshburn will set to do the steps of the portable foot restraint in reverse and put them back on the SETA and break free from the robotic arm of the International Space Station and join Kayla Barron back in the Quest airlock. You're getting a live view now of NASA astronaut Kayla Barron's helmet camera, her HECA views, these high-definition cameras. We're watching this through her perspective as she puts the finishing touches, as she puts the thermal protection over the degraded NASA unit for future integrity. As Tom Marshburn and Kayla Barron put the finishing touches on the thermal insulation, here in Mission Control Houston, we got a couple of cheers, hearing the good news that the SASA is working and functioning fine.
The clamshell's not mating with the Velcro, and it needs to go aft further.
So it needs to go aft, but rotation doesn't matter, right?
I don't think so. There's a tab on my side that's about lined up, and the opening should be facing you exactly, facing Venus.
Yeah.
So what I would recommend is opening it back up and releasing it, and then trying to get it further aft before we close it.
The top of the clamshell, though, is really flush hard against the top of the high gain.
Okay, then sounds like a good config. I'll push the MLI
now
a little bit further up to meet it.
The little turtleneck might have been in the way, so let me back that up a little bit. That little turtleneck piece is, for lack of a better word.
That's looking pretty good right there, Tom, if you close it.
Okay. I think there was a little flap was in the way. We're trying to close it now. Finger in there.
Looking much better on my side in terms of alignment.
There we go. That's a lot better on this side right now, too.
Yep, I'm a lot happier with that. Looks good, Tom.
Oh, okay, I'm done. Yeah, I got to get both straps in.
Okay.
There's one. Two. That holds it. Okay. Looks pretty good.
I concur.
A couple things. First, we want to get a glove and hap check from you, and we also wanted to give you the big picture that we're still about an hour or so ahead of timeline, and we think that we are going to have the opportunity to get to some of these get-aheads.
Roger.
Copy. Glove check and work.
Hi, Tom. And while you guys are doing the checks, we're ready to get you set up for the next maneuver. We'll have to back you out of some of the GCAs you gave us first, if you're ready.
Okay, stand by just a quick comment. I've got a dry half through, and the small finger of my right hand has a couple of very small smudges on it, but otherwise the RTV looks really good.
And for me, I still have some of those. They started out as kind of black, but now they've rubbed off a bit, the dark smudges on my fingertips. And I've noticed on my very fingertips and kind of the fingernail side, there is some sort of like eraser wear-ish wrinkles, kind of wrinkle ridges. I'm trying to show you guys that in my camera. I don't know if you want me to turn my HECA back on for you.
Checking. Yeah, Kayla,
okay with that, I'll go ahead and
we'll take your HECA back on.
See if I'm good. Go ahead.
Stand by, Tom.
Back on?
Okay, copy. We're swapping over to your HECA here.
Sure.
And Kayla, can you confirm that those wrinkles you're seeing are actually on the RTV?
They're on the RTV.
Copy.
It's like on the, can you see my right hand, Drew?
If you could move your right hand to your left. Touch more. Tom, we're go on your gloves, and so you can go ahead and start working your GCA.
You're now getting views through NASA Astronaut Kayla Barron's helmet camera. She's providing a glove check as she's done periodically throughout the spacewalk.
And Tom, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Waiting for the maneuver back.
Roger.
They're setting it up.
Tom, for you, when you have a break in GCA comm, we'll take your bag inventory.
Copy. I'll do that once they start the maneuver.
Copy, that works.
You're not currently in GCA, correct, Tom?
I'm not currently in GCA, that's affirmed.
One of the get-ahead tasks is to break torque or loosen the bolts connecting the DC to DC converter unit for the battery charge and discharge units on the P4 truss of the space station.
Motion here, and then we'll do a little bit of correction for aft as well. Here comes the motion.
Okay. In good motion. We're going, Kayla?
Good. I have the mutt, and I'm working on getting it stowed in the medium lower UVAC. My red swap now.
That's a beautiful task, isn't there? Already looking around.
I've got my visor down.
Getting mine.
We're now in an orbital daytime as Kayla Barron was calling out that she has her RET and her MUT. This is the retractable tether and the multi-use tether.
That's all right with you?
Hey, Tom, it's up to you and Kayla if you're going to head all the way out there, but she's going to be done here pretty quickly. In the end, we want Kayla to translate back in ahead of you.
Save it. All righty. Okay, I'll get some snaps here.
Roger. And for Drew, I've got Alpha 7 clockwise 2 sets, and I'm at H1.
Kayla, the settings are going to be Alpha 7 counterclockwise 2.
Roger, Alpha 7 counterclockwise 2, and understand I'm fully releasing about a 7 turns.
Good, read back about 7 turns to release.
I will go ahead and get my crew light bag on me.
And Drew,
sounds good.
That was 8 turns on H1. The PGT did not skip this time, but I believe it's fully released. I'm not sure what indications I have of that, though. I did notice the lock-unlock indicator is indicating it was kind of like bouncing, I guess, clicking back and forth near the lock indicator.
Checking. Okay, let's give it 2 more turns on H1.
Drew, that was 2 more turns, and the PGT and Bolt seemed to skip this time.
Okay, copy, Kayla. We're ready for you to reset your PGT, Alpha 7, and this one will be clockwise 2 for Bolt H2.
Alpha 7 clockwise 2 set, and I'll just adjust my body position and then let you know when I'm going to start turns.
Copy.
All right, I've got Alpha 7 clockwise 2 set, and I'll be driving to torque about a quarter turn.
Copy that. That sounds like good setting.
In light, 9.2 foot-pounds, and that was about a quarter turn.
Okay, copy, Kayla.
I'll start heading over to the Saab brackets.
Okay, we'll meet you there. That's in the opposite corner. Kayla, while you're making your way over there, we know that you still have that ORU bag on you. If you want to temp stow that out of your way, because we think you might need the BRT in order to do these wire ties.
Roger. We'll assess that in a second here, Drew.
Copy.
Switching now to live views from NASA Astronaut Kayla Barron as she works on a couple of get-ahead tasks before the conclusion of this spacewalk. She's braking torque or loosening a couple of the bolts on a couple of different locations on the space station. Again, not related to the NASA, but could one day be helpful in case we ever need spares.
Here I've got the wire tie through the knob restraint tunnel, both of them, and I got 3 half twists.
Okay, Kayla, that looks good. And you know the second wire tie goes on that micro fixture there adjacent.
Okay, that's gonna work. And that's on the lithium-ion battery to the inboard side, correct?
Affirmative.
After completing her task to break torque, Kayla Barron is now working on her second get-ahead task. This involves putting wire ties on the sub, or solar array blanket boxes, and that's what you see her tying now.
I've got it secured to H2 with 3 half twists.
Copy, Kayla. And so now we're going to take that wire tie that you just placed, and we want it to go across that cable connection there, so it's kind of capturing it, depressing it down, and then use that wire to then grab the lasso that you just did on the sob itself. Exactly.
Stand, and it's gonna work. How far do you expect these to rotate back through? Very.
Checking.
Maybe like, I don't know, 30 degrees away from straight up. Stop.
Yeah, Kayla, we want it to.
Clear, so I think I'm needing the.
We want it to rotate all the way against that hard stop like you have it, exactly closest to the micro square, so you are doing it exactly correct.
And let me get this cable underneath. So.
Yeah, Kayla, and so that ORU just off to your right is the PFCS, and we want to be able to get at that robotically, and so your tieback is going to give us clear access to it.
I'm going to reposition where I have the attachment point here, if I can, just because I realize that's not super tight. Right through, I've got it restrained back, and I will try to. Tell me if you can see it in my WVS. I'll show you how much play remains. Definitely clear the corridor.
Kayla, it looks great. We are very satisfied with that. We're going to call that task complete.
Okay. I will work on getting my medium ORU bag back on my BRT, and then head inboard to join Tom.
Copy.
All right, that sounds good, Kayla, and we'll meet you at your green hook.
NASA astronaut Kayla Barron just confirming that she has finished the final of her 4 get-ahead tasks. After the installation of those wire ties that the ground confirmed looked great and was exactly what they were looking for. She'll now make her way back to Tom Marshburn, where they'll begin the procedures to get back into the space station, out of their spacesuits.
Kayla, thermal cover's open, and you can stow the bags as you would like. We know that you also have that ratchet wrench still on your mini workstation. If you wanted to take that off and stow it separately, up to you.
Barron just gave verbal confirmation that the hatch thermal cover is open, one of the early steps into getting back into the Quest airlock. She's now going to work on stowing some of the bags that contain the tools that they needed to replace the degraded SASA.
Ready to get a little more right here.
There you go.
And when you're ready, Kayla, you can attach your right waist tether to the airlock D-ring extender and lock it.
Doing work right now. My waist tether is attached to the airlock D-ring extender. It's closed, tighter locked. And Tom, I'm going to get this medium ORU bag on a airlock vent real quick, and then I'll be ready to get out of your way and take the other crew lock bag.
Copy.
And it looks like Kayla Barron, having just completed her very first spacewalk, is the first one back. Chari and Vandahai now working to remove her safer units. The jetpack type backpack that would have been used in case of an emergency was not needed today. Barron's safer unit is now removed. You can see Tom Marshburn still in the airlock, in the crew lock. He's got the suit with the red stripes. They completed all of their tasks for today, including the get-ahead tasks. And in the words of astronaut Mark Vandahai in the farther part of your screen, they triple crushed it. Chari and Vandahai on your screen, helping the spacewalkers out of their spacesuit now that it has concluded. Following this, they'll take their gloves and helmet off, get the rest of their spacesuits off, and head to a well-deserved rest. Kayla Barron's helmet is now off as she works to get her gloves off. This concludes the spacewalk for these two NASA astronauts now that they've accomplished their goal of restoring S-band capability to the International Space Station in 6 hours, replacing a degraded NASA unit with a spare on board. The spacewalk concluded at 11:47 a.m. Central Time. Marshburn officially had his 5th spacewalk in the books, giving him a total of 31 hours, 1 minute, suited up and supporting space station maintenance and assembly on a spacewalk. Kayla Barron concluded her very first spacewalk of her career, ending it with a riveting review, saying it was awesome.
The hatch is closed and locked, and the lock latch is indicating locked.